Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera HBAR. So let's just dive in and let's start off first with the biggest question that I always get asked, tokenomics. So, we are looking at this is the release schedule. It was the 6-year release schedule for HBAR. Now, I believe that the total here down at the bottom is just kind of adding up the initial supply release plus like the 4% in 2019, getting to about like 7.6%. And then you kind of add the other ones here as well. Now, Parabolic HBAR posted this over on Twitter in response to Hedera. They made an announcement that they are releasing an updated Hedera Treasury Management Report. The original one, we were way off in terms of the token release, which is why I said like it severely hurt the price action of HBAR in 2021. To be completely honest with you guys, I was expecting a lot higher price, and then all of a sudden we seen a massive amount of HBAR released to the general public, which stifled a ton of movement. Now, a big question I always get asked is, okay, well, Nick, you know, how bad is the price action going to be off of like their release of tokens going forward? Well, when we really kind of look at it and we look at where we are at now, we are currently sitting at about 25 billion. We still have this year alone about roughly 300 million to get released out to the public. This will bring us to about 50.61% of the total allocation of the tokenomics. And then by the end of the year, next year, Q4 2023, we will be sitting at about 62%. A 12% year over year inflationary term if we are going off of that one singular year. Comparing this to Casper, which Casper is my #1 holding, they have about 8% year over year inflation. 12% is not terrible, but it is not great. I'm not sitting here and saying 12% is great because no, it really is not good. Now, the biggest problem here with all of this is there going to be a TPS demand for HBAR to allocate for the 12%? Because if we don't have TPS demand, I would argue anywhere between 50 to 100 TPS, then I'm not expecting a massive move on HBAR anytime soon. The only reason why I say this is because inflationary terminology around the supply of some of these tokens does stifle the price action. Because, I mean, think about it like this, right? When I was originally investing into HBAR, it was during 2021, all right? And going off of that, going off the initial supply being released over there, which was about 3.6%, going off of the 4%, the 13%, and even the 18%, we were sitting at about 38.6% of the tokenomic supply release, right? So 38.6%, and that's in the total year of 2021. I don't think that the total supply was sitting there just yet, but you could see that in Q3 of 2021, we were right at about 29.55%. So roughly about 8.6% by the end of 2021, which by Q1 2022, we were sitting at about 39.45%. So totally fine. It was kind of right on par with that, with the original tokenomics, by the way. But we were only supposed to see, an 18% increase in 2021. But going off of Q1 of 2021, which is when I first initially, invested into HBAR, it was like January of 2021, we're sitting at about 24.7% for the overall tokenomics. And it was about 2%, little under 2% per quarter. And then all of a sudden, things changed. By Q3 of 2021, we were up by about almost 3% in terms of inflation, which again, not bad at all. But then Q4 changed, right? Q4 changed because we went up by almost 7% in terms of tokenomics. We went up by 4 billion almost tokens all at once, which was a big change, and it ultimately, in my opinion, stifled the price action of HBAR. I said this many times on this channel. Now, again, with all of that in mind, what is going to happen next around tokenomics? Well, we're going to be at 62% by the end of 2023. Is it going to hurt the price of HBAR? I would argue that, like I said, without significant adoption, without significant price action, which we have seen the reports from Hedera themselves, they are expecting a lot of projects to go fully live next year, and there's a lot of TPS demanding use cases to go live next year as well. I do expect that the price will continue to trade sideways until the entire market kind of starts to alleviate. And then after that, we definitely have to watch HBAR closely to see the next major move. I'm still looking at $3 to $6. Do I think that $3 to $6 could happen even with, we'll say, 30 billion tokens out there? Yes. I'll just estimate it to 31 billion for an example. At $3, we would be at $93 billion in market cap. At $6, we'd be at $186 billion market cap. So again, $3 is achievable as we go higher and higher in price action. Like for an example, like $4, $124 billion. It's a little bit more of a stretch simply because we know most altcoins topped out at about $100 billion in market cap. So if we're going off of this and we're following that tokenomics supply release, then yes, I still think that $3 is achievable. But it definitely does stifle price action short term because it demands a lot of money to not be invested into HBAR because, again, market cap doesn't mean the amount invested into a single asset. It still demands, though, quite a bit of buying demand, and it needs to have that marketability tied to it, which so far they've been really updating us on that. So with that in mind, I do want to share with you guys a few clips and a few things on why I think that tokenomics around HBAR is not really a big concern long term. Short term, yes, it might stifle a few things, but overall, I do want to share with you guys this video here from Barbarian. So we do see Nigel Dobson, banking services lead at ANZ AU. Bank Australia's second largest bank by market capitalization, reveals why they're interested in Hedera Hashgraph HBAR. In recent months, ANZ have explored the development of its stablecoin $DC on Hedera. Listen closely to this.
Blockchains and networks, and one we're very interested in, I'll just say it out loud, is the Hedera network because of the number of the very few nodes that it has, but they're all run by kind of Fortune 500 names, and that to us is transparent governance, and we understand who's hosting nodes, and so it's almost like this sort of permission to public blockchain. It's got all the benefits of public speed, transparency, and efficiency, but it's got this sort of governance layer around it. And increasingly, as a bank, we're attracted, like some other banks have already joined that network and host nodes, to that type of configuration, because I think that's equally what will bust some anxiety within the regulatory community.
So, like I said, when we really kind of look at Hedera, yes, the tokenomics are rough, but when we look at what they are doing and what they are focused on, I do believe that when we focus on the bigger picture, it is specifically designed and developed for institutional grade adoption and enterprise grade adoption because of the GC backing on it, the security mechanisms, the ABFT consensus, right? And all that technology tied together. I mean, it's an incredible opportunity for Hedera. That's why I say, like, you got to kind of have a short-term and long-term mindset and portfolio list. My short-term list for the largest wealth creation are some of the best tokenomic assets. Long term, I am invested into HBAR, XRP, Algorand, and some of the other assets that have more and higher tokenomic ranges. Again, do I think that's going to hurt HBAR? Not really. I don't think that's going to be a big concern. But with that, right, I do want to share with you guys a few things happening around the banking and financial scene. So CBDCs have been a big discussion on this channel. I think that they are a big opportunity for DLT technology. I think that they're a big opportunity for crypto as well and digital assets. A lot of people don't like CBDCs. It doesn't really matter if you like them or not. I mean, at the end of the day, if central banks want CBDCs, if the governments want CBDCs, they will push them onto the public. And I think that these are going to become a reality. I think that there's a few concerns around them. I have my overall concerns as well. I've talked about it and I've just addressed them. But here is the CBDC sample wallet proof of concept and research mechanism from the Bank of England. I talked about this recently with Hedera. I said that I think that Hedera is a perfect POC mechanism for this, For those that missed that video, I highly suggest you go check it out. But what I do want to bring up is some discussions that I've found and PDF files that I've found around CBDCs, even with Hedera. So let's go over to this one. So one, I found this PDF file about decoding a CBDC, and the funny thing is that like this is fully branded around MTech. So anybody who is questioning MTech and their correlation to Hedera, here you guys have it. Also, they did the Project New Dawn white paper together with Microsoft, which was centered on the Federal Reserve's digital dollar mechanism. But this is very interesting. So we see a few things where they're discussing the idea around this, some of the company descriptions, but then we do see Ripple here, which is very cool. So we do see Ripple. They are currently engaging globally with central banks on CBDC projects. These projects include the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan, Republic of Palau as well. And these are centered on the XRP ledger. Like I said, DOT playing a vital role. With Ripple CBDC private ledger, central banks can manage the CBDC lifecycle, offering these benefits: stability, security, and resilience, easy access and financial inclusion, interoperability with disparate payment systems and overlay services, low energy consumption to promote sustainability, and this is all through the XRP ledger, private basis on it. Now we look at Hedera, right? Building the future of CBDCs, the Hedera Network Enterprise Advantage, performance, high availability, eco-friendly, predictable low TCO, rapid development, ecosystem compatibility, and platform trust. And all of these are huge. And then down here we also have Prosper Us. They are at the forefront of the digitization of currencies and the broader money vertical. It's the only deep tech company whose end-to-end solution has been used by the Banque de France for CBDC money transfer, mentioned in its report released in 2021. And these are some of the biggest companies around CBDCs. Notice how there's no other major company labeled here as being a major tech provider for CBDCs. I mean, it's pretty crazy. And by the way, real quick, going back up to this, you can see that the partners here are Ripple, Hedera, and Prosper Us. And they're talking about the innovative society that is, or I shouldn't say society, the innovative technology that will impact society around DLT networks and DLT technology. I've been addressing this for a very long time, as you guys are probably all aware. They are talking about 105 countries that are now exploring central bank digital currencies. I think that now we have a little bit more. I forgot how many there is, but you guys go over to cbdctracker.org. You could see everything happening around CBDCs. Again, a lot of people are asking me and questioning, like, okay, well, what if CBDCs don't become a reality? I think that CBDC-backed stablecoins will become a reality then, and it's going to play the same exact role. The craziest thing is that when you go over here to CBDC Tracker and you look at the announcement year, look at all of the announcements around CBDCs in 2022, and I've shared my thoughts on this even with XRP many times. I mean, there's over 6 pages. I think it's actually 7 now. So yeah, it spans 7 pages of CBDC discussions in 2022. These are from proof of concepts to private to all kinds of experiments that they're doing with CBDCs already. And it's only a matter of time before we start seeing major ones launch. And by the way, when we look at launched, focus on the big 4, because if one of the big 4 go live with the CBDC, it's endgame. Because I even said it in my XRP videos that we will see a space race behind digital technology with payments and finance. And it's going to be huge. So definitely look at that. I think that it's going to be huge. I think that a lot of these DLTs that we do talk about, they are focused on innovating beyond the means of what we need and providing a tech stack that any major bank would want. And I think some of them, like I said, I think HBAR, I think Hedera is a perfect DLT. I think the XRP Ledger private basis is a perfect DLT. These are 2 incredible technologies that I talk about quite a bit on this channel, and I am in it for the long term. Like, I don't care what HBAR's price is tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. I will sell at $3 to $6. Will I sell my whole stack of HBAR? Absolutely not. I don't care to sell my whole stack of HBAR because I believe the technology will revolutionize the entire world. I think that some of these DLTs, you're better off kind of having a long-term bag and a short-term bag because, I mean, we're seeing everything I mean, we're seeing major innovation happening on an infrastructure level. I mean, here you guys have transaction network slash infrastructures that are talking about DLT-based infrastructures that are core ledger technology that are building beyond the means of what we are utilizing right now as around like, payments and finance. And they do even mention like Hedera Hashgraph as a major example, Algorand Network, Ethereum, Hyperledger Basu, Fabric, and Iora. Also, R3's Corda platform, GroundX's Clayton, Prosper Ledger, Ripple CBDC Private Ledger, and even Stellar Network. So, again, major opportunity. I'm so excited to see what happens next around this technology. I mean, CBDCs, they might not be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I will say this: almost every major company that we talk about in this space are going to be main players. A lot of them are labeled on this list here. I mean, MTech is a solutions provider powered by Hedera, and we do see Hedera labeled over there as infrastructure, acts as the network that can be used for the core CBDC ledger, can be DLT or non-DLT based. We see Algorand there. We see XLM, Stellar. I mean, these are some of the biggest names in the game. These are also assets that I am heavily invested in because they are all providing incredible technology for the future. And I do think that we are about to see a major push for digitization. I think that it all starts with regulations. I think that's the biggest obstacle to success around crypto right now, in terms of like mass adoption. And here you guys have the comparison of select DLTs available for use in CBDC pilots and implementation. And you could see the comparison with Hedera to all of these other major ones on here. Very exciting, very interesting, and yeah, definitely pay attention to things happening around the space, especially with DLT technology and finance and payments. I've always said it. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.